Welcome back to the show, all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And speaking of small business, I am absolutely thrilled to be joined by the CEO of Walker Sands, a business-to-business marketing agency here in Chicago. He's a great fair tax advocate. We've all been talking about, and I mentioned before the break, the upcoming vote that we all have on our ballots regarding the fair graduated income tax. And I'm absolutely thrilled. The fair tax. I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Ken Gaebler, the CEO of Walker Sands. Ken, welcome to the show. Welcome to Get Down to Business.
Hey, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, Ken, I always love to get to know the person behind the microphone. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about Walker Sands and your history here in Illinois as an Illinois business owner. Tell us a little bit about your firm.
Yeah, happy to. Yeah, no, I'm a Chicago native, Chicago area native, born in Hyde Park and then Oak Park, and I have been running my own businesses since 1993. So about 27 years. Have had quite a few successes and some failures as well, venture-backed and organic growth companies. I started one software company that I sold to a public company. I did a big .com and raised a lot of venture capital money for that. I think I've raised over $23 million for my ventures in the past. But after the .com crash, I started a few service companies. One of those was Walker Sands, and have just grown it organically, put $300 in the bank account. And, now today we're doing about $19 million in revenues, 130 folks, plus in Chicago, San Francisco, and Seattle. And we serve large and mid-sized B2B companies, mostly tech, mostly professional services. So have been through a lot of businesses, ups and downs, the struggles of a small business owner trying to make payroll. And then this business I have now has done quite well. And in fact, we just did a private equity transaction last year, which was good timing pre-COVID. In order to kind of just fuel additional growth and geographic expansion. So that's my background, and have always, been interested in, doing right, doing well and doing right outside of the business. As a business owner, always so busy with, just family and making payroll and solving business problems. And so time is always limited to really kind of help out on other fronts. But the fair tax got on my radar, and I dug into it and feel like it's a very important thing for Illinois to pass this coming November.
Yeah, well, appreciate you coming on to talk about it, and appreciate that background about Walker Sands, and congratulations on all of your success. You've been an 8-time Inc. 5000 fastest growing company honoree for a company founded in 2001, and with now upwards of 135 employees. You certainly are the success story, and really, really interested in your support of the, as we say, the fair tax. And so the current tax system allows, folks that earn quite a bit more than the average Illinoisan to pay the same tax rate. And the vote yes for fairness, and I think we all have gotten in our mailboxes over the past number of weeks the exact ballot language to educate folks. There's going to be something to change the tax to make it fair. So, Ken, you are coming from a successful business, and you have chosen to step up and believe it's the right thing for you, believe it's the right things for your employees, and for the growth of Illinois. And we've all seen, the trials and tribulations of our state over the past little while. So you mentioned that you've done your research. So what is it that led you to come to that conclusion?
Well, absolutely. Yeah. So first of all, it's very exciting that this vote is even on the ballot. It's I've gotten involved in this very recently, but there have been a lot of folks who have been trying to fix a very broken tax system for decades now. And so this is a culmination of a lot of people's efforts to get this corrected. And you're right, since 1969, we've had a flat tax system. Everybody pays the same rate, rich or poor. And this is really a vote that will come around once every 15 or 20 years to do something like this. So there is a lot at stake. And there's some, word out there that this isn't good for business and things like that. And to me, nothing could be further from the truth. Businesses rely on strong government, and we need a strong government, which means we need to invest in the government. It's a tax break for young entrepreneurs, right? So like when I was starting all my companies and I was earning, $30,000 a year, billionaires and folks like that were paying less than perhaps they should have, which meant that I was paying more. So to the extent that you have a graduated tax system, you're actually investing in young entrepreneurs, which is good for, the business climate of the state.
Sure.
And then as well, when we get this done, and it's a tax cut, not a tax hike, it's the opposition is sort of running in their commercials, 97% of the state will get a tax cut. And so that's good for employees, right? So in my businesses, I've, always very humble, and I know that the businesses have done well, because I've brought on great people and they've, launched careers with me. And, those are folks, those young folks are people who really kind of, need a break. And so they'll get a tax cut, and that's good for business owners, right?
Absolutely.
When your employees pay less in taxes, it's good for you. So to me, there's really also just like a moral element to it, right? Those who can afford to pay should pay. There's a concept called the moral value of money, right? That says, a dollar is worth, something to a billionaire, and it's worth something to somebody who's struggling, but it's not the same value, right? So when, somebody who's struggling gives away a dollar, it hurts them a lot more than somebody who's very comfortable and has done well. And so it's not really correct to say that, it's a fair tax system because we all pay the same rate. In fact, the percentage of income from a lower income and a middle income family, when you take the income tax and you add on top of that sales tax and property tax, it puts Illinois in the position of being a very regressive tax state, meaning that we run the state on the backs of, our least fortunate folks. And that's a free pass for the wealthy who could contribute but are opting not to in a flat tax system. And so it compounds over time, the damage to the state. I think a lot of the problems we have now in the state, if you track back root cause, it goes back to that flat tax system that got passed in 1969, which isn't to say there aren't a lot of other problems that need to be worked on in Illinois, but this is a simple fix to go to a modern tax system that is the same tax system used by the vast majority of states, used by the federal government, and in general, it's viewed as just, a more ethical, better way to tax, as well as a better way to fuel growth.
Absolutely. And I'm chatting with Ken Gaebler, the CEO of Walker Sands, a founder and CEO of a company of many companies. We're talking about Walker Sands and, a Chicago-based business. And Ken has been talking a little bit about his support for the fair tax. And Ken, I really found it interesting, the comment, of course, that you made about your people. You said that the people are the most important thing to you, and ensuring that you're looking out for them. And really, we're talking about a situation where 97% of people in Illinois would see their taxes cut, and that means to anybody earning less than $250,000 a year. So again, the majority of people would see their taxes cut. But you also touched on the point about this is good for government, and that is good for everybody. When our state is, sort of in a secure footing. So, Ken, we are running out of time, and I want to make sure folks know where they can learn more about your business, but also learn about the fair tax, so they can understand the facts, because there's a lot of things floating around. So the website for that is voteyesforfairness.com. And I encourage everybody, do your research. We're here with an advocate for the fair tax, and I think it's important that everybody understands. But Ken, on your end, if folks want to learn more about Walker Sands and about your history in Illinois, where can they learn more?
Yeah, probably the best place to go is walkersands.com, and you can learn about my business. I have a personal website, Gaebler.com. It's my last name, Gaebler.com. But as I said, as a business owner, you get busy with so many things. So I've not been too attentive to that website, but walkersands.com is a great place to learn about Walker Sands. And as you said, Vote Yes for Fairness is a great place to learn about the fair tax, and it is something that is super important to the future of the state and will help a lot of folks out. So
well, thank you so much for joining us on the air. Thank you so much for joining us
on
the air, Ken Gaebler. Come back real soon, and we'll certainly stay on top of this issue. This is an important thing that everybody needs to do their research, learn more, and again, appreciate all of your leadership in business here in the state of Illinois. We're going to squeeze in some headlines and a quick break. Afterwards, we will be joined by yet another business, job, and entrepreneurship expert. You're listening to Get Down to Business. We'll be back in a moment.